Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's me, Kev, with wordwithtwist.com or Tarot with a Twist here on YouTube. Remind me sometime and I'll explain to you why the two names. It's a long story. Anyway, the question I saw on Reddit. So I've been scanning Reddit lately, kind of looking for questions that people are asking because it's universal, right? And the question that popped up was, can a certain person change? Can this person change? And these are the three cards I pulled. I was going to do my own journal. Wasn't going to really share it, but I said that it might be a good idea to share it because it's a good tutorial, right? Especially when you're dealing with kind of real life questions. And again, no studio setup. I'm just kind of like threw the cards down. I was going to write it in my book. And the way I was looking at this was theme, the thing that blocks them, and then the outcome or potential outcome or path forward or something like that. And usually when I read these, I change based on how the reading's going. But because I'm using Rider-Waite, I will do positions. And the first card that popped up, as you see here, is the death card, right? And when I look at that, the question in my head is, I'm thinking to myself, can this person change? No, they can't. Well, how can you say that? Because you see death is flipped. And that means that they're refusing transformation. They don't want to change. They want to stay stuck in their ways. And now you have to go to the number on the card. It's a 13, which is a 1 and 3 energy. Well, a 1 magician flipped is a really diabolical creature, a trickster, someone just does anything they want to get what they want, right? And the 3 is the Empress upside down, which means they're going to drain your power, just take everything from you. Every ounce of life that you have, every ounce of trying to move forward, they're going to strip it away because they don't want you to get ahead. And then the 4 is what upside down? The Emperor energy, 4, stability, but it's not stable. It's destabilized. For them, it's stable, but for you, it's complete treachery because the Emperor flipped is what? He's a tyrant, a complete tyrant. And also, when you look at this card here, Death card, you see that no matter who gets in their way, they're just going to roll them over. They don't care. They're not going to change. Why? Why won't they change? We have the theme of it. We kind of have the premise of it. But now we move here. Is what's blocking them from changing? Because they're afraid of getting attached. Ace of Cups. They don't want to attach to anybody. They're afraid of their feelings being hurt. They're afraid of their emotions. They're afraid to face their own reality. They don't want to because it hurts too much. So every time somebody tries to get close to them, what do? They destroy it. The magician, right? The 1 and the 3, the 1 energy, upside down, just trickster, just tells you what you want to hear and so forth. And is it on purpose? I don't know. But from these 2 cards here alone, I'm seeing that this isn't going to happen because they're afraid of getting hurt. They're afraid of really being tied down to somebody to trust. So the wall's always up no matter what. What could have caused this? Well, we don't know because it's just a question on Reddit. But we do know from the 2 cards here that it's highly improbable they're going to do it. So they're going to stay stuck in their ways. And the outcome is because here, you have another cup card. So you're seeing 2 cups. So I know it's around a relationship. I know it's around emotions. It could be family. It could be a partnership of some type. But to me, it's more like a love type of a vibe going on. And when you look at the 6 upside down, what does that tell you? Well, the 6, they say in the Rider-Waite tradition, is all around nostalgia. So when it's upside right, it's about thinking about things of the past. It makes you happy and peaceful, and it's very calming. So it's a 5-1 energy, which means that it's freeing and always brings about new potential because you're happy, so you can accept new things much easier, right? But it's upside down. And so what's telling me is they can't because they refuse to let go of the past. So they want to always weaponize it. So no matter what has happened, they're not going to let it go. It's a vicious circle. So it's destabilization. Again, it's a 6. It means unbalanced. And when you think about that, there's no amount of rationalization you can do because it's not logical. You can't reason. So even if you try, it just isn't going to happen because they are running on a different plane or on a different level. So you may try to come in and think about, well, why can't we move forward? Because they don't want to. They want to be stuck in the past. Right? Which means there's some past problems that need to be resolved that never were. And so when you even, now I'm going to do something a little different I normally don't do, but if you merit 2, you have the death reversed, refusing to change because the past cannot be let go, which tells you why new relationships will never work out with these people, that whomever they're with, they're going to destroy it. They're going to make sure the commitment won't happen. So that's how I see that answer and how I would read the cards if somebody asked me to do a reading for them on that question. And I would say it's a no. I'm kind of curious if we throw some dice, what it would say. Let's just do that. Why not, right? Go up here and grab them. I'm going to grab these dice here and this one. So this is a D called a D24 dice. All right. And the way it works is, since the Fool is a 0, I don't have a 0 on the dice. I have a 22. I map the Fool to the 22. And if it goes above 22, then I will map it to that energy. So, for example, you have a 12. Okay. So the 12 comes before death, right? And that represents the Hangman. And so, because they always try to live in the past and they won't allow new things to occur, Hangman's a new perspective. It's changing the way you do things, looking at things a little differently. A 1 and 2 energy also, the 1 goes what? Back to the Magician. And the 2, this time, goes to the High Priestess. And the 3 goes to Empress. So from the 1 to the 2, they birth the Empress. But because they're always in the state of confusion, state of chaos, state of destabilization, whatever it is, they can't look at things differently. They have to look at things how they always were. It's almost like there's a fear there, because if they let go, then what happens is they have to then face themselves. And that Hangman upside down is a time of reflection. They're stuck there until they can kind of get their head out of the past and allow it to move into the future. That's one way of using dice. Okay, why is map it to a major arcana with a D24. Now, these dice are D16 dice. I just added these recently because I thought about it. And the way this works is anything over a 14, because in my system, I map the pages to a 1, so that's 11. The knight to a 2, that's a 12. A queen to a 3, 13. And a king to a 4, which is a 14. Why? Because all those numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, add to a 10, a complete cycle and a new beginning. Kings go to war and they start over all the time, right? So think about that. The courts always are moving, they're always recycling, they're always starting over. 10, always cycles of some type. So here, these dice here cover each of the elements. And so you're saying that the earth is 6. It's because it's telling you that the person, the reason why they can't let go, because they're not happy in their own life. They're not happy with what they have. They're always wanting more. And because of that, they can't break free. And they can't accept anything new. All right? And then when you look at the water sign, which are the emotions, it's an 11. And that's the water sign. And that maps to a page. And that means that you have to try to find a new way to handle your emotions. But because they're in this phase of being inverted, they can't. They don't know how to search a different way. They're ignoring that Hangman energy and they're refusing to go to the future. They want to hold on to the past. That's what's kind of destroying them. Page, they have to let it go. And then when you look at the mind, is a 3. They're always in conflict, internal conflict. Their mind's a little bit of chaotic, right? So think about 3 of swords. It's broken. And something probably in the past happened to them that was really terrible. And they never rectified it. They never found closure. And because that is this wall that's never allowed to go down, they always hold it up no matter what. And when you look at their passion, you have a 15. Well, I don't have a 15 on the dice. I only can go to 14 for a king, so I have to re-roll that. I can map it to a 6, but that's not really going to work because it kind of cheats and makes the dice a little more biased. I have a reason why I do it here, but I'll explain that later. So here I roll again, 15 one more time. We have a 6 again. And so here it's saying that even their passion and desire is not really healthy, that they long for something that they can't have. They want the happiness, but they don't know how to attain it because they're so caught up in the past. They're so caught up in pushing everybody away because they feel broken. And this is where maybe they need somebody to lend them an ear, right? Just to kind of help them talk through the problem. So anyway, the question was, we started with this, can they change or will they change? And the answer is no. And this is how you can incorporate the dice into a reading if you would like to do that. Or even if you had a poker deck, you could use that as well, because poker decks will also kind of align the same way as the dice did. Anyway, that's all I got. And if you enjoyed this quick little tutorial, let me know. I'll do more of it. And again, this is just a Reddit thing I came across and decided to read on it. I'm doing a lot more of these, but if you do like them, I need to know that, because I'll amp it up a little bit, right? I'll do more extended things, look at different spreads we can do to kind of answer those questions. That way you can learn how to do different spreads for different type of questions. But actually, honestly, a 3-card spread is pretty much your best bet, because it works with anything. Theme, blocker, or things to be mindful of, path forward, or advice, right? If you follow that kind of a guide, you got it going. If you go over to thewordoftwist.com and click on my resources link, I think it's under library, I have a PDF you can download to track your own 3-card readings. And it's really cool because it allows you to just print it out. You can take your notes, store them, and go back and reflect on what you did. And it's really quite helpful. Anyway, that's all I got right now. Until next time, I want to see y'all in my next video or tutorial. All right. Bye, everybody. See ya.